Hello everyone, we're at MTAC Score. It finally happened after years of waiting. I am so happy and excited today to be joined by Adam McArthur. Adam, thank you so much for making the time.
Of course, I've literally been waiting for years for MTAC to be back. So I'm stoked to be here.
Well, we're very excited to have you. So tell me a little bit about some of the things you've been working on lately that, of course, you're able to share with us.
Yeah, of course. Gosh. Well, as you know, Jujutsu Kaisen just had a movie come out, JJK0. Yuji was not in that movie, but it has created a lot of extra hype for Jujutsu Kaisen. It's sort of tiding the fans over until Season 2, which was just announced, will be coming in 2023. So that's super exciting. To be honest with you, I have been working on so many things that I am not allowed to talk about that this question has just thrown me into, because I'm like, wait, what is out right now that I can actually talk about? And I don't know what it would be. The Orbital Children is an anime series, a Netflix anime that came out maybe about a month ago now. A super fantastic sci-fi anime about some kids from Earth who get trapped on a space station that a comet is coming for. And then you pair that with the kids from Earth, a couple of kids who were born on the moon. Moon kids and Earth kids don't really get along, and now the space station is in danger. So it's a short little 6-episode mini-series Netflix anime, which is really fun. And gosh, what else? A lot of my shows: Tokyo Revengers, Shadow's House, Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent, My Hero Academia. They're all it's not their season.
Yeah.
We're in between seasons right now, so a lot of stuff that I'm on will pick back up this summer. Into the fall and winter season and the anime season. So, yeah, all the other video game stuff and Western animation stuff I can't talk about right now. So.
Well, that's fantastic that you've got so much going on.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been very busy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, let me ask, what made you take an interest in acting in the first place?
Yeah, I have always, my earliest memories are wanting to be an actor. I've literally always wanted to be an actor and do voices and do cartoons and all that stuff. I got put into an acting class. My parents put me in an acting class when I was 16. And from there, I just never stopped. So I got my first job very quickly after I started taking classes, just by chance. And yeah, I grew up in Northern California, acted up there all throughout junior college. I did 3 years in junior college before I moved down to Los Angeles. So I've been in LA now for, 19, almost 20 years. So I've just been keeping at it. People always ask me, oh, what's your piece of advice? And there's, a million different things as far as advice goes. But one of the things I say is, if you're going to do it, just plan to do it for a really long time. Because the longer you do it, the more undeniable it will be that you are there to do that thing, and someone will eventually give you a chance. So...
Yeah, nobody tends to see or think about how much effort and dedication goes into it, and the fact that you are where you are now just speaks to that level of dedication and commitment, and you should be commended for that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's that saying of every overnight success has 10 or 20 years of
yeah, exactly
lead up to that overnight sensation. You know?
Exactly. Who would you say has had the biggest impact on your career? And that can be a person who's been supportive or another actor. Just I try and leave that open to interpretation.
Yeah. Well, I've also done martial arts my whole life. And I had a mentor in martial arts who kind of took me under his wing really early on in my martial arts career. And he instilled a lot of, I don't know if you would call them, he just instilled a lot of wisdom in me. And one of the things he always used to say, specifically about martial arts competition and things like that, when we were competing at a really high level, he would say, somebody has to win. It might as well be you. And I've really carried that with me into my acting career. Somebody has to book these jobs. It might as well be me. As long as I'm getting the opportunities and having a chance to audition for these things, that my shot is just as good as anyone else's. So, it's really helped me not get upset when things don't go my way, because it just means something else is out there, or if I just keep at it, at some point something else will come my way. So I would say my martial arts instructor has had a huge impact. I also have been very fortunate to be around and surrounded by people who are very, very supportive of me and have been my whole life. And even at times, like, when my parents were like, are you sure you want to do this? Is this really your career path? In times where it was maybe a little bit more difficult, it was never like, don't do this. What are you doing? You should do that, or, anything like that. I was always told that whatever I wanted to do, I could do it. So I always really, that allowed me to push the boundaries and see what I could do.
That's fantastic. It's so important to have supportive people like that. Especially early on.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to have that.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, look, some people, we don't choose our families, and I know some people don't have that kind of support system, but that support system is out there for you, whether it be your given family that you were born into, or your found family and your friends that you've chosen to be, around you. But I do think it's really important for people to, choose friends and choose people that they are around that lift them up and push them to be better and strive to do awesome things.
That's fantastic. Acting is such a competitive field. What has been the biggest challenge for you as an actor?
I don't know if it's because of growing up with martial arts and, like I said, competing really heavily and at a very high level, that for some reason, I don't view acting as a competition. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I had that competitive itch and it's been scratched by, martial arts competition or what. You just can't worry about anyone else. You can't worry about anyone else. And I never want to be the person who's upset at someone else's success, because I've gotten to do a lot of really cool things and experience a lot of really amazing roles and characters and things like that. And the feeling that I felt when I was doing those, I want everyone who wants that to feel that. So I don't necessarily look at it as competition. It's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah, like I said, at some point something will come along. And at this point too, I feel, and I know that maybe I didn't always have this, or I had to convince myself that I had it when I didn't have it. But at this point, I've been working for long enough in the industry that I'm like, okay, imposter syndrome can calm down. I'm here. I am still getting things. This is going to continue as long as I continue to work hard and put my best effort into things. So I don't necessarily see it as competition. I think there's enough for everybody, and we can all sit at one big giant table and we can all have some of the food.
I think it's great to have a really healthy mindset like that. I think that speaks a lot to your success. It's just, you've got the right attitude, you're dedicated, you're hardworking, and, fortunately you've been rewarded for that, and you absolutely deserve it.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, look, and there was a time where I've always had a very strong self-belief, you know what, you're right, Sifu Scott, this is what I can do, someone has to do it, it might as well be me. And I would I know this is what I'm made for. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. I know this is what I'm supposed to do, even when there's nothing. And I think that is something that, I think is very important. Having a really strong self-belief, almost to the point where it's people might be looking at you he hasn't worked in 2 years. Why is he saying that? It's doesn't matter. At some point it will happen. And having that even when you don't have something, I think helps you when you do have something to realize how grateful you should be to have it. And also, just not to forget that there are times when the industry is crazy. You never know what can happen, and there are ebbs and flows. Sometimes you work all the time. There are weeks where I would do 15 jobs in a week, and then there's 1 or 2 week periods where I don't have anything. And it's just, you never know. And I think having a really healthy mindset for longevity in the business is super important.
That's excellent. We're winding down, so I'm going to let you go soon, but we talked a little bit beforehand. What are some things that are important to you in terms of causes, charities, that sort of thing?
I have such a soft spot in my heart for kids. I think For so many reasons. Kids love everybody.
Right.
They haven't learned any bad habits yet. They have such tender hearts. I think a lot about I have 2 nieces and 2 nephews, and they are just the sweetest little kids I have. Actually, they live out here in Nashville, so I got to spend the whole week with them. I came out early to MTAC.
That's fantastic.
Got to spend time with my family. But every year, Sarah Sherman, who's an amazing cast director in Los Angeles, does a charity fundraising sort of event. It's kind of more online, but she does this thing where she raises money to pay for parking at Children's Hospital LA, so that people who are visiting their children who are in the hospital she usually does it for like on Thanksgiving or on like right around Christmas or on a holiday, don't have to pay for parking. And I know, on an individual basis it might not be that much money, but I also think it's just such a sweet cause, and because it involves the kiddos and stuff like that, it's something that I just really admire and think is a great cause to give to. And then Children's Hospital LA in general, they do so much good work. The programs that they have for the kids who are there, the money is really, really put to good use. So Children's Hospital LA is something I care a lot about.
Excellent. With your friends' fundraising, you said it was mostly online. Where can people donate to that? Do you know?
You know what? Let me just grab my phone real quick. I think it's something that she does seasonally, but you can follow her on her social media. Her Twitter is Sarah Jane Sherman. So at SARA, no H, SARA, Jane, Jane, Sherman, SHERMAN, Sarah Jane Sherman. She's an amazing resource for people who are wanting to get into voice acting as well, because she does VO tips on her Twitter. But you can also follow me at NinjaMac, NinjaMac, and whenever that comes around, you'll see me retweeting it and talking about it as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll make sure that we link to all that in the description as well, so people can check that out.
Great.
You already mentioned your Twitter. If folks want to follow along, do you have any other social media outlets you want to plug?
Yeah, totally. I'm literally NinjaMac everywhere. I try to make it easy for people. So it's NinjaMac, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Fantastic. Well, Adam, it has been such a pleasure getting to talk to you. Wish you all the best.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to yet another production of the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. You can find us online at awesomecast.com, OSMcast.com, or, wherever you find your podcasts, just search for OSMcast. You can also find us on the social medias, OSMcast at Twitter or on Facebook. Of course, you can also find our wonderful interview guru, the greatest living interviewer, John Robbins, at J5 is Live. Or perhaps you'd like to follow our amazing editor, Anna, at Angel Darkfire, or just me, at It's Basil Time on Twitter. Our theme song is produced by DJ Inabito, and you can find him online at djinabito.com. And once again, thanks for listening to the OSMcast. We appreciate you.